We have another craft to share with you guys. Hi, it's Maria.
Hi, it's Ellen. Before we get started, we want to give a huge shout out to a couple of our latest subscribers, Zach and Rob. Thank you so much and welcome to our YouTube family.
Today we're going to show you how to make this thankful wood frame. Just imagine wowing your friends and family like I have when they see you've made this inventive craft so inexpensive, around $10.
Wow, you can't even buy a decorative frame for that amount. And it's pretty amazing how you can use other colors in the same craft and you can make it look totally different.
And make sure you watch it all the way through. We put a little tutorial showing you how to paint around the frame to make it look like a real tree bark.
Plus a preview at the end showing our next craft.
With that, let's get started. So you get 8 large craft sticks and lay them out in a lattice pattern. Use an E6000 with a glue gun will give it extra support.
And it's best to use the E6000 first and then use your glue gun in the other areas. If you put them together, it's not going to stick as well.
And I don't know why that is. It just doesn't work.
It's a chemical thing.
Probably. I don't know. So now that the sticks are all glued, you want to set it aside and start on your tower blocks, or Jenga blocks as they're called. You will need 40 of them all together, 8 rows of 5. Look, I know how to count.
Now that you have them done, you start gluing the rows onto the lattice. And keeping in mind to use both E6000 and a glue gun in the separate areas. That's a lot of glue.
Yeah. You want to make sure it sticks.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, there's your trusty gun.
So now that you have that all done in the front, just turn it over and do the same thing to the back. It's really simple to do. You're just gluing these pieces together, but the turnout is amazing. And there you see you'll have a gap.
That's when you're going to use the joint compound to fill in the spaces between the wood.
You also get that, I guess you'd call the applicator, that little metal thing. You can get that at the Dollar Tree also.
Okay. Oh, the little spatula.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so what's great about having this lattice here, you can turn it around to make sure that you have everything covered. It's really easy to do.
And as the joint compound is drying, you can start with the stain. And it's a really good idea to use gloves so you're not staining your hands. And then you can use an old cloth or a sock. It's great for large sections, and then go in with a brush for the smaller sections. We have those socks.
Yeah, I took it from Biscuit's stash. Sorry, my puppy.
Oh, and there's the brush. And you can go in with the brush for the smaller sections. A lot of space to cover.
So now that you have the front, turn it over and do the back. And what's nice about doing the back too is it makes it really all complete. Because if you buy it in the store, it's not going to be half done. It's going to be all complete. So now you want to start using the compound to make the outside of the frame. But before you do that, you use either painter's tape or masking tape around the lattice you just stained.
And now you're going to put the joint compound around the frame, and as it's drying, you're going to move your finger back and forth to create the texture. The more you move it around, the more texture you're going to create.
Which is really exciting to do. When you do it, it's amazing to do your own. You see how the texture develops. And then once that's done, you let it dry for 24 hours. And as promised, here's a tutorial on how to paint the joint compound to make it look like the bark of a tree. Here's a little tutorial I put together for you guys to show you how you can paint over this joint compound to make it look like a bark of a tree. When you're using the joint compound, as it's drying, just move your finger back and forth, and that really gives it the texture. I put Mod Podge over it to make sure that it was all sealed and very sturdy. Let that dry for about 10 minutes, and then use your first color. Use all different shades of browns that you would like. To start with the darkest to the lightest. And when you're using your first color, you use a pretty heavy hand and make sure it's all covered so you see no more white left. The next color I chose was brown oxide. I mixed it a little bit with the burnt auburn to combine it together a little bit so it wasn't so harsh. And with a lighter hand, go over the top of the color you just put previous to that. Wait about 5 minutes in between each color you use. You might want to get a craft stick and put the compound on it so you guys can practice. This is a really cool technique that I have been doing recently, and I love it. I've been putting it on everything. The next color I chose was Territorial Beige. Mix it in a little bit with the previous color you used. And with the even lighter hand, go over the top. So as you can see here, you're still seeing the other previous colors you put on top, below that. Excuse me. Yeah, it's coming together pretty nicely. You can always go in with a color you used before if you think there's some part that you put too much of one color on, if that makes sense. The next color I chose was Khaki. Very lightly on the brush, put a little bit, and with an even lighter hand, go over the top. So you're just basically skimming the surface. And let that paint just grab onto the top texture. It's really easy to do and fun. Once you do it, you're going to want to do it on everything. You can always go back in with darker colors if you feel like you've put too much in one area. I first did this technique, I was so excited about it that I was telling everyone, does this or does this not look like wood? It was very exciting. And you'll get really excited too when you do it because it's a really awesome technique. Personally, I think it comes out a lot better than things you can buy in the store. And just imagine what your friend's going to think when they see something that a craft that you made with this technique. They'll be amazed. It's coming along really nicely. And if you like it like that, you can go ahead and keep it. Or if you want it a little bit more aged looking, like around for the Christmas holiday when you get that white effect, use that antique parchment.
Now you'll choose the word you would like to use for the center of the frame. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. 3 words come in a package, and the Thanksgiving ones are welcome, harvest, and thankful.
And new this year are Christmas ones that say peace, joy, and believe. They come in silver. You can leave them silver or you can paint them. I found using a sponge with the paint, it's less coverage. If you use a paintbrush, you have to go over it like 3 times. But what's really exciting about this gift, or this craft, is you can use any floral that you would like to complement what your decor in your house is anyways. You don't have to just use for Thanksgiving. You can use this all year round.
And you'll want to use picks that complement the browns you choose for your frame, and also the stain. You can make it your own however you like. For instance, the welcome frame has 12 craft sticks to make the lattice, whereas the thankful has only 8. The same concept, but you can vary it a little. And the frame is the base, and you just create from there.
And we were even talking about how you could string like jute twine on the back and get little clothespins and hang pictures if you don't want to use lattice, just to still use the frame. Like Ellen was saying, the frame is like the base, and you guys can do wherever your imagination takes you. Now, it's better to use E6000 when you're gluing on the back of these metal words. For some reason, when you use a glue gun, it just doesn't stick. And it also gives you flexibility so you can move it around exactly where you want it.
I love the colors you chose, Maria. Looks so good.
Yeah, I think they're really pretty. Thank you.
And look at that frame. It looks awesome. Looks so much like wood. My gosh. And that's so true, Maria. You can use this all year round. And look at your beautiful frame. Oh my gosh, look at that.
Right. And as promised, here's a preview of our next craft. Thanks so much for watching, everyone.
Until next time, bye.
Bye.